A mystery within a mystery might be the best way to describe the disappearance of Maura Murray. Why Maura took off in her car is every bit as intriguing as what happened to her. After 21 years, her family is still seeking answers. Maura was 21, a nursing student at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. On the morning of February 9th, 2004, she called around about lodging in Vermont and New Hampshire. She then emailed her nursing supervisor that she would be out of town for a week due to a death in the family and left campus. Yet there had been no death in the family. Maura drove toward New Hampshire, withdrawing most of the funds in her bank account from an ATM, then stopped to buy $40 worth of alcohol. Maura's 1996 black four-door Saturn sedan ended up in a snowbank along Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire. At 7:27 p.m., a resident of a nearby home called 911 to report the accident. At approximately 7:30, a school bus driver saw the car and stopped to offer help. Maura asked him not to call police, saying she had already called AAA. But he knew that wasn't possible because there was no cell service in the area. He noticed she slurred her words and seemed unsteady. Around 7:40, a second resident called 911. Maura was seen standing by the car and possibly behind the trunk. Approximately 7:46, Trooper Cecil Smith arrived at the scene. He found the car in a snowbank, but no one in or near it. It was locked, but he could see inside that the airbags had deployed. The windshield was cracked, and there was damage to the front end and driver's side. Maura's personal effects were still inside, including clothes and toiletries, birth control pills, school supplies, empty alcohol containers, her AAA card, and other personal items like jewelry and CDs. Her debit card, credit cards, and cell phone were all missing. Also of note was a rag stuffed into the car's tailpipe. Officer Smith also noticed red splashes on the ceiling and door of the vehicle that looked like wine. He found no footprints in the immediate area leading into the woods. Additional officers and EMT arrived but also found no footprints. The initial assumption was that a drunk driver had crashed and abandoned the car. 36 hours passed before an investigation began. New Hampshire Fish and Game's first search included a helicopter with infrared and a bloodhound who tracked Maura's scent down the highway until it was suddenly lost at the Bradley Hill Road intersection, as if Maura had gotten into another car. A total of 5 searches were done, but nothing was ever found in the surrounding woods. Theories of what happened to Maura are many. One is that she intended to take her own life or ran away to start over due to problems she had been facing. Some think she may have been suffering a mental break. Leading up to her disappearance, she had exhibited odd behavior and found herself in legal trouble. After having been recruited by several Ivy League schools, Maura had enrolled at West Point, but been caught shoplifting at a PX in Fort Knox. She was able to withdraw and switch to UMass, but then became involved in credit card fraud in 2003. And just 2 days before she vanished, she had crashed her father's car coming home from a party. Another theory is that she wandered into the woods and died of exposure. Yet no evidence was ever found there, and search dogs never hit on her scent in the woods. Others suspect the local police were involved in Maura's disappearance, but there's nothing concrete to support this, besides early inconsistencies in the reports. Another option suggests that she was leaving her boyfriend due to suspected cheating. When Maura left, her things were found all boxed up with a printed email on the boxes addressed to boyfriend Bill Rausch. Many people believe Maura fell victim to foul play, possibly having accepted a ride from a stranger or even a serial killer. But the window of opportunity for a serial killer to drive by and pick up Maura was only about 7 minutes, making it unlikely unless she was seen on the trip and followed. There's some speculation she was given a ride by 3 young men from the area because they didn't show up for work. An A-frame house a mile from the accident scene was later checked, and search dogs alerted on a closet. Samples that turned out to be blood were taken from that closet, but not by police, who refused to test them, citing degradation and lack of protocol when handling evidence. No one has ever been charged in this case. Bill Rausch, Maura's boyfriend at the time, is considered suspicious by online sleuths regarding inconsistencies in his story, but it's generally considered consistent by law enforcement due to military records and statements by his commanding officer. His alibi was being at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, where he was stationed. In 2022, he faced a third-degree sexual abuse charge and pled guilty to misdemeanor assault charges. A recent disclosure was that a fingerprint found on a CD in Maura's car belonged to a former boyfriend named Stefan Finkelstein. He had been at West Point with Maura and left after she withdrew there. After her disappearance in 2004, he changed his name to Stefan Baldwin. He's rather infamous in the dog rescue world, having been charged with multiple counts of animal cruelty, grand theft, and bribery. He has denied any involvement in what happened to Maura, but was sentenced in July of this year to 15 years in prison for his earlier crimes. Maura's mom, Lori, passed in 2009. Her sister, Kathleen, passed in 2021, as well as her brother, Fred, in 2024. But Sister Julie, Brother Kurt, and Father Fred are all still dedicated to finding out what happened to Maura.
Hi. Welcome. So tonight is going to be an interesting night. Denise and I made sure to mute that video, so we did not watch any of it, and we'll explain why in just a minute. But welcome back to another episode of True Crime Psychic Guy. I know we have a lot of new subscribers, so welcome. Thank you for joining us. We do all of our cases or investigations live. We ask you to join in, share what you're feeling, submit in the comments your questions. We want you really, really engaged in going through this with us. We do 2 lives per month. If you have a case you would like us to investigate, please let us know in the comments. Before we get started, let's meet the group. My name is Maryam. I am a psychic medium. Harlow here is the backbone of the show. She's our writer, producer, artist. She investigates all the cases. She researches them. She creates the videos, edits. She does everything. So without her, there is no show. You can find her books because, like I mentioned, she's a writer. They're available on Amazon. Then, of course, we have Denise, who is a psychic medium as well. She's a life doula, a Reiki healer. She likes to help women align with their inner wisdom to become their own maven. Myself and Denise do not follow or read up on true crime specifically, so we can come in as clear as possible. Of course, many of the cases are very high profile. So if we, may have read headlines or heard a little bit about the case, we'll make sure to let you guys know that at the top of the show. Because of the influx of interest in so many smaller cases, we have included these smaller cases into our Patreon membership, which is launching in January of 2026. We were going to launch that off of YouTube. We've decided to move over to Patreon. So we're still building that. We're going to have a lot of content, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of interactive stuff, a lot more cases will be placed there. So we'll let you guys know when we are ready to go with that. Tonight, one of the most fascinating missing persons cases is that of 21-year-old Maura Murray. She was a Massachusetts nursing student, and in February of 2004, she took off without telling her friends or family. She had emailed her supervisor to say she would be gone for a week due to a death in the family, even though there had been no death. She crashed her car in a snowbank in New Hampshire, refused help, and then vanished, never to be seen again. So because there is so much going on in this case, and Harlow has been telling us there's like so many twists and turns, and there's this and there's that, and there's all this stuff going on, Denise and I have made sure to stay clear, not watch the video Harlow made, mute the video, so we just aren't, distracted by all of that. Anyway, hi guys, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Ready to go. I mean, Harlow, was this maybe one of the most complicated cases you've worked on?
Well, it's certainly the longest video I've made because it's just a mystery as to, there's several parts that there's a mystery to. and there's people that could be involved or people that maybe aren't. So it's a strange one, that's for sure. And it's
Yeah.
fairly well known. There have been a lot of documentaries and other things done on it. So a lot of people may be pretty familiar with it.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so
really?
too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was just recently one on, I think it was Hulu. It was either Hulu or Netflix. It came out not long ago.
John Jake Morgan from Wisconsin. Is that familiar to you, Harlow?
It's not. I don't know if it's a recent case or not, which we don't tend to do, but I wrote it down anyway and I'll look into it.
So Harlow makes a solid point. Harlow, you want to explain why we don't do recent cases?
Just, well, mostly out of respect for the families, and also because with the new cases, it's hard to get information. It's hard to, police don't release a lot of what they know as opposed to these cold cases. So I often can't find out very much and can't do much with the little bit of information there is. So it's kind of limiting.
I see. Yeah.
And you don't want to really drag it up for unless the families ask for assistance. It seems a little touchy.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. So this is a good case then.
Okay,
There's a lot
now,
more coming in.
Peggy Hetrick, I have on my list. And if it's been years since he went missing, then I'll definitely look into it. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. Let's get started. After this show tonight, we will be jumping on over to Behind the Hauntings, another YouTube
I have the
page
shirt.
Harlow and I have. Oh, Harlow's wearing the shirt.
I have the shirt.
That's what matters. And or you can go to my page, YouTube page, Maryam Farish. It's going to be airing live from both. We'll be doing some Behind the Hauntings. Some people's got. We have some, all right. We have some submissions where there's a lot of activity in their home and they need some answers.
Yay.
Oh, cool. You got your shirt. Yay. That was from Halloween.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like I'm sort of postponing the inevitable because I feel like this is going to be a lot. So let's just get into this.
I think it might be.
Sorry. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, not because I'm so excited, but because my cat is on the chair and I can't remove him. So
Go Larry.
Go Larry. So I'm like sitting like this. All right. So I'm taking my glasses on and off. For anyone that is new, Denise uses her tarot, but she's also a medium like me, and she sees, hears, feels, blah, blah, like I do. We also have photos that are sent to us, and if you see me looking at my phone, I'm looking at the photos that Harlow has sent, because for me, especially, that's where I get my information from. Okay, so Harlow, we're coming in totally blind. Talk to us.
Okay. I think this case hinges on Maura's state of mind. And that would, I think, really be a good place to start as to why she took off in the first place, why her behavior was kind of strange, why things happened and she got into some trouble. So there were some issues. I don't know how much you want me to tell you.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. But I do want to ask, I'm definitely feeling mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's coming from drug related or something she was born with. Denise, you're shaking your head. Did you get the
Yeah,
same
the
thing?
first card, when I didn't watch the video, but the first card that came up was duality. And so that explains the mental health part of it.
So I feel like I'm looking right now at this security footage that you sent, the photo.
Mhm.
The reason why we don't show you guys these photos is because they're copyright, so we can't air them. With Maura, I'm feeling duality is such a great word, because I feel like I want to tread lightly, like especially when we use the word mental illness. I don't want to diminish or say something incorrectly. So let me apologize ahead of time. I am trying to be respectful and thoughtful. But I say that because I feel like this may not be the correct word for it, but there's a blacking out she does and not remembering it's like I'm feeling two people. So it could be a schizophrenia. It could be a multiple personality.
Wow.
And there's a blackout that she does. And that blackout is what has put her in this position, not her fault. And
Right.
this isn't purposeful. I think my question would be, just sort of rhetorical question, is I feel like Dad was aware, but a little nervous to admit that, because it feels like that's very hard for them to grasp for some reason. I think because it feels like she is so smart and she is so talented and clever and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And when she blacks out and goes to this other person, it doesn't diminish who she is before that happens. Go ahead. What is the card you're holding up?
So
Ooh,
this
I'm getting
card
really
is
hot right now.
And what is coming up is that Dad had his head in the sand. He didn't want to believe his daughter had two personalities, if you will. Again,
Great.
being sensitive to, what could possibly. And I'm also feeling like, because of that, she never was actually officially diagnosed. And because of that, she really did suffer, but he didn't want her labeled.
And there's it hasn't been officially diagnosed or verified, but there's also some, even from the family, some kind of hint that she may have also had bulimia. So an eating disorder would even make that so much worse.
So now I'm going to ask this, but I want Denise, let's just sit for a sec and shuffle your cards. I want to see, I want to try something. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is just because I feel intuitively we should, so we don't alter or affect the read. Okay, so Denise, shuffle your cards. I have the question in my head. I'm not going to say it out loud. And then tell me when you're ready to pull a card.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay, what is it?
Fear.
I asked if she was still alive because I think she may be.
And I know it's hard to see, but you can see this face here and this here.
Yeah.
It's, again, the duality. Almost like, and I hate to say it this way and I don't mean it this way disrespectfully, but it's almost like the monster that comes out when she's the other person. And again, I don't want that to sound insensitive, but
it's a darker aspect of herself.
Correct. Yeah.
Do you feel like she's still alive?
I do, but I don't think I think she just went away to protect herself. It was, again, I'm going back to the duality, like that just keeps coming back, is that living the two separate lives between the brilliant person she is and when she's not feeling well it was just getting to be too hard for her to navigate between the two. And I get the sense that she just picked a side.
Yeah. And so I feel like, okay, so let me see if I can break down her illness too, to kind of elaborate on what you're saying. So there's the Maura the family knows, there's the blackout, and there's this other person. This other person doesn't know this person. And neither persons know that the other exists. So there is a fear of, why am I here, if she moves to the other personality. The thing that's hard about what's going on with her is she doesn't have classic signs of schizophrenia or multiple personalities. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. Obviously, I don't know classic signs. I'm sharing what I'm being shown and told intuitively as a medium, what is going on. This also is why she was not diagnosed and why she was able to unconsciously hide it, and why others weren't fully aware of it. It also didn't develop till much later. I feel like, how old was she when she got disappeared?
21.
I feel like this started 16, 17, 18. Didn't start any earlier than 16. What was happening earlier than 16 was, there were signs. But they were subtle signs. And I feel like they weren't big enough to warrant maybe a deeper discussion or a deeper dive. Also, she wasn't carrying these classic symptoms. So, in the defense of a doctor may not dive into it or assume. What's disturbing for her is that there's just this complete unconscious separation and no coming together, no like, oh, I know when this happens, that happens. And there's a fear there. And I feel like the car crash, I see her crashing her car and running.
And then Denise has the magician card.
And the car crash feels deliberate. Denise, what do you feel from the magician card?
It was basically confirming what you were saying. It was almost like she was, even though she didn't realize it, she mastered both personalities, even though they didn't know each other. It was like she was two separate people. And to go with the age, I think a portion of the reason they didn't notice was if the bulimia, the eating disorder, was part of it. I think the family thought, oh, this is because she's not well from her eating disorder. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
because with bulimia, usually bulimia and anorexia, from my experience, tend to go hand in hand a little bit. And so if it's almost like if she was, manic, she would be eating, or if she was the other way, that she wouldn't eat. And so it was missed because it was more like they were trying to help her deal with the eating.
I see. Yes, I hear that. I agree. So when she crashed I feel like the crash was deliberate. It was a snowbank, you said?
Yeah, the second crash when she went missing was into a snowbank.
Yeah, she blacked out, crashed, ran, and I feel like I feel like she's alive. What place, where city, state did all this take place?
This was New Hampshire. She crashed the car. It was kind of remote, and yet there were houses nearby. People called 911 to report it. There was a school bus driver that came by to offer help, and she refused his help, told him not to call police. He went on, knowing that because she said she had called AAA, but he knew she couldn't have because there was no cell service in the area. And
Oh.
then right after that, she just kind of disappeared. The police showed up relatively quickly, but the car was there. The airbags had deployed, but she was gone. There were no. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all right.
Who is Stephen Baldwin? Stephen.
He was an ex-boyfriend. She had known him at West Point.
The A-frame house.
The A-frame house was something that came up afterwards. People thought maybe she had been taken there. Later, much later, dogs were taken there. They hit on a closet there. And even later after that, some sample was taken there that turned out to be blood, but it wasn't taken by police, so the police wouldn't test it because it was degraded and they weren't sure. There was no chain of custody, so they couldn't really treat it as official.
So I don't feel that I don't feel she was abducted or taken. I feel that everything feels by choice. I'm not feeling a struggle. I'm not feeling violence. I'm seeing her get out of the car, run, not from anyone or anything, just run. This is where I'm feeling a almost manic type, like to use, I think you used that word, Denise, just a confused.
Mm-hmm. It's like she panicked and ran.
And panicked for no reason. Like there wasn't anything to panic over, but her personality is susceptible to anxiety, fear, and that type of thing.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. What Megan's talking about. No one found any footprints in the snow. The dogs didn't track her in the woods. The bloodhounds tracked her scent straight down the highway to the intersection and lost the scent as if maybe she had gotten in a car.
Yeah. What's so interesting about that is my vision is the car crashed. She got out, she ran, and she didn't, like, I can see her running. I can also see her no longer running, but I can't see what happened next.
Where she went.
It feels like, so like that visual is very clear. Her running the car into the side of the road because of a blackout, running just solely out of, I'm curious now. If you can give me really limited information, because I know we're starting to take twists and turns and I don't want this to get out of control. Stefan, is it Stefan or Stefan?
Either way, I don't, Stefan, I would assume.
Stefan, he doesn't look like a Stefan. Was he connected to the case at all?
He knew her when she was at West Point. He even helped her in her case because when she was at West Point, she had been recruited by Ivy League school. She was a really good student, and she made it to West Point. But while she was there, she shoplifted some like makeup, light stuff in the PX at freaking Fort Knox, of all places to shoplift. It seems like you're either out of control or it's a cry for help. And he helped kind of defend her when she came under scrutiny, was in trouble for that. And then she left West Point and he left not long after, and he went on to get into all that dog stuff. He was into dog rescue and euthanized a bunch of dogs, and he's now in prison for all the stuff he did while he was in dog rescue.
Yeah,
okay. I was wondering because his picture, I was like, there's something off with him.
Yeah. That's why I'm wondering if so let me ask this. I asked about him earlier. Did he pick her up, or was he already in prison when she had this situation? When she went missing?
He just went to prison recently.
Okay. I he has something to do with this. And he helped her do whatever she wanted to do. He didn't do anything technically illegal other than not tell someone that he knew where she was.
Hmm.
But he assisted her in whatever she's doing now, wherever she is now. Okay, without going too far off track, give us another leading question.
Well, I mean, that's if he's the one that was she ever taken to the A-frame house? Was she ever there?
I'm feeling very clearly that I'm hearing and feeling that the dogs that tracked her were accurate.
Mhm.
Did they track her at that house? You said yes, right?
That was searched much later, and it was a different bunch of dogs.
But the dogs,
The dogs did get a hit there.
all of the dogs, the dog tracking was accurate. That's what I keep hearing.
Hmm.
But she was never held captive. She was never harmed. Any harm was self-inflicted. Like, this is not a situation where it's a violent crime.
I got a sense of there was items of hers there, not her.
Interesting.
I don't think it was her.
You don't feel any involvement by her other boyfriend, Bill Rausch?
Let me go back and look at him. No.
Okay.
No, I feel like I think the other guy, because she trusted him to help her because he helped her before.
Yeah. That's
So
animal.
and I think, this is just my logical brain now with this, is like, I think he had a better idea of her personality,
Mm-hmm.
and that didn't intimidate him, if you know what I mean. And so she felt safe with him, that he would keep her secret because he did defend her in the other instance. I agree with Maryam that he had, like, he didn't do anything illegal. He just helped her get away.
And he didn't tell anyone where she was.
No, but
he's all for. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say she made him promise, and he was all for, like, oh yeah, okay, fine, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like,
he's
like,
he's all for a hijinks.
Yes, he's like,
he loves.
Who cares?
Yes, he loves to just he'll be right. If you want to pull some shit, he'll be right there. If you want to get your life on track, nah, it's not the guy you call. But you want to pull some shit, you want to try some crazy ass stuff, like using like totally his words, that's who you call. He will be there, and he will F your life up for you.
And her behavior might have actually appealed to him because of that.
Because I think it goes to exactly what Denise said, that is exactly who you would call when you are escaping your existence without choosing to unalive yourself.
Right. Yeah, because she had no interest in doing that at all.
Right.
Unaliving her. Like that, even though her, she was, that was nothing that either personality ever thought of doing or wanted to do. It was not anything that dawned on anyone, either part.
I agree. Isn't that crazy? I agree. So where is she? Sorry, go ahead. Is this a question?
Yeah, Megan's asking, is she aware her family is still looking for her, or is she existing now in the other state of mind and not identifying as Maura at all?
She's fully aware of the situation. When trauma is induced, like when she experiences trauma, it sends her to this other personality. And I'm feeling her staying on this other personality This is what's such a trip is there control she has now? Like she's not flip-flopping because when we first started reading her, this personality shift was
Card.
almost out of her control. But something's changed. What's the card?
Adventure.
Adventure?
Mhm.
Adventurer, yeah.
And so, and if you look at the clothing, it's very ornate. So it's almost like she can shapeshift.
Wait, Denise, pull the card back. We're losing it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's almost like she can shapeshift into, like you said, to the other personality. And I feel like now what I'm seeing is like she has the ability to understand them both now, whereas before she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
is now can stay in one state or the other
Mm-hmm.
as she chooses almost now.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Wow.
Okay, so something just came to me. But you guys are gonna kill me. We're gonna need it. I can't remember what Casey. Remember the case? The girl, she killed her daughter, Casey.
Oh, Casey Anthony.
Casey Anthony. As soon as Denise was talking, I heard just like Casey Anthony. Now, I watched the documentary years ago on her. And the documentary I watched was one she put together. It was like the most recent one, which was like maybe 5 years ago or something.
I watched that.
Okay. So my point is, it's not my opinion of like, oh, intuitively I heard she's just like Casey Anthony.
As far as
duality and being able to shapeshift into someone different and convince themselves that this person didn't do that and isn't that person. That's not me. I didn't like it's like
she could
can
take
do
a polygraph test
like multiple personalities, yeah.
But wait, Harlow, say that again.
So it's almost like multiple personalities.
And Denise, what did you say?
I was going to say it's almost like she could take a polygraph test and pass.
Wow.
Because she truly believes this did not happen. She wasn't capable, or that sort of thing.
See, it would be great to have a doctor here because for me, as I'm stepping into my medical mediumship role for a minute, I wouldn't say it's multiple personalities. That feels different to me than what she is experiencing and what Casey Anthony is experiencing, because there's a control over it that came with age and an awareness of it. Again, not truly knowing the definitions, just intuitively, multiple personalities I have experienced in clients where there's this almost for lack of better words, lack of control. And it's just sort of this constant like shifting and not constant, and there's multiple. This is 1, 2. And then there's this blackout in the middle. And that middle, that void is where they are able to just turn it off. That's not me. Huh? And genuinely believe that. And they're like a switch. And they're not gaslighting you. They're not trying to mess with you. That's truly what they're experiencing. So she is living this life as somebody else, obviously.
Interesting.
Her dad, the pain and the suffering for her dad is heartbreaking because dad, that's his little girl.
Yeah.
And he saw all the goodness in her that was truly there, all the talent, everything. And he just couldn't bring himself to believe that something else was going on. I feel my heart breaks for dad.
Yeah.
because he wouldn't be upset. He just wants to know she's okay.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have the capacity to feel that, what a parent feels. So hopefully she didn't have children, because she doesn't have that capacity. Just like with Casey Anthony, there it is again. They didn't have the capacity to love and understand that relationship. And so, like with Casey Anthony, oh, whoopsie, whatever the situation was. And with Maura, she's not understanding how important it is to call dad. She's able to just sort of go like this.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, those cards are so pretty.
They
What's
are.
that one?
This is dreams, and she really doesn't have any ability to understand the pain that her father is going through. Like it's almost like she does not have, she really has zero empathy. And it's not because she's trying to be an ugly person. It's just like when when you're standing in line, they were handing out empathy. She's like, yeah, I don't need that one. You know what I mean? She's like, no, I'm going to go to this line over here.
And if you don't have it, you don't have it. Like, it's
No.
like you can't blame them. And
No.
it's not like someone who's just an a-hole and you're like, dude, go to therapy, work it out. It's just this black void.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the dad dreams of her coming home, being reunited, back together, because even in his mind, like what I'm seeing is like, it doesn't matter to him. He's like, he doesn't care if she's like an axe murderer. And I'm not putting that out there into the universe.
Right.
I don't mean that, but it's like, that's my daughter. I want her safe. I want her to be home. I want her to know I love her. It's that type of energy coming off of him. And in his mind, he's like, the car was no big deal. This is no big deal. It's just, I want you home.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on here. Let me put up some of this. I wanted to see here. There can be many triggers which are specific to the person with yes. I wanted to go back to this because it sounds like you guys have some sort of information. BP, here, what's this? What's bipolar disorder? If untreated, that can seem like you're more than one person because you can switch so quickly. Oh, interesting. Rob, we'll come back to that really quick. Let me see this.
Yeah, there's a couple things to come back to.
She wouldn't know about the other personality, but the other personality would know about her. Interesting.
Okay.
Not that I've heard, but if she was in the middle of having a breakdown and going to end things, her mind could have completely broken and she may not know who she is. So this is interesting because when I saw her jump out of the car and run, she was having a breakdown. She was having a breakdown in that moment. She wasn't able to, but I never felt suicide or anything like that. Back in those days, people who disassociation were often misdiagnosed. 2004, even though this happened in 2004, didn't it?
Correct.
That's not back in the olden days. 2004 feels like yesterday. I mean,
but it turns out it's been a minute.
Yeah, for us, it's just not that long ago, but
yeah, no, I
in
mean,
reality,
I'm not dismissing you, April. I'm just kind of joking about that.
Right. She was what, 21?
She was 21.
So this is a good question.
She'd be in her 40s now, correct? Or close to? I'm really bad at math, by the way.
Somewhere
Me
around
too.
there.
So it's all on you, Harlow. Amy Bradley Amy Bradley walked away because of such severe trauma that she
Mhm.
wasn't ready to step back into society, nor did she want to. This is what we felt. This is different. This is a disorder that has, because she came from a father who loves her. She was not suicidal. So that's why none of this is making sense to the family.
And there was a series of things, not only the shoplifting, but then, and the judge let her off lightly and said, stay out of trouble and we'll keep this off your record. And then right after that, she started with the credit card fraud. She was ordering pizzas with other credit cards. And so some people thought maybe that was due to the eating disorder, but that may have been the personality.
Yeah.
And then she crashed her father's car 2 days before she took off.
Yeah.
And then had this second crash.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So she was having that.
There was a lot to escape from.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as someone alluded to, she received a phone call while she was at work, and she just lost it. They had to walk her back to her dorm room and get someone else to do that. And all she said was, "My sister, my sister." Her sister was an alcoholic who was in rehab, and I guess she was getting released, and her husband took her to a bar or something. So she had all this stuff going on in her life, some of her own and some not.
Yes, she's going by a different name. Are the sightings of Maura in Canada true?
We can get to that one. She has been cited a couple of places.
Yes. But I also want to say this, like, on one hand, it's like, just let's get away. I mean, I'm not saying this literally, but it's like, let's just get away from all the twists and turns, like all of this and that. Like, let's just, because this is someone who is struggling with a mental disorder.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's like, okay, that's why those things were happening. Those things weren't happening to give us clues into an abduction. Those things were happening.
No, not at all.
So she was, she was doing this, and it's, I feel like I want to say all of this that she was doing, don't worry about that, because it doesn't have any bearing.
Mm-mm.
Go ahead.
It wasn't planned either. Like,
yes,
it was like, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do that. It was very spontaneous, I guess.
Yes. And stress, like someone had said in the comments, intense stress triggered her to switch. And yet there was that, like, when she was on the phone call about her sister and the drinking, this personality over here loved and has the compassion and the empathy. The personality over here doesn't. And this was the confusion for the family, for everybody, for her.
Yeah. Because she didn't understand, because she was trying to grapple with it herself. And so she didn't even know how to explain it to anyone else, because she also really, because again, it started a little bit later. So she wasn't really sure she was feeling or sensing what she was. She's like, sometimes there was like, am I just crazy? Yeah. And I don't mean that, like, but how, like, when you're like, I swear I saw that thing over there. Am I just crazy? I didn't see it. So it was more of a rhetorical question for him. Like, am I going crazy? She's like, well, I couldn't possibly be doing that,
That makes sense. Often the family doesn't know the person hides it so well. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, this is unless she is able, we don't know, right? Unless somehow she was able to stay in that one personality. But if she isn't, that still lives in her, and we did both sense this ability to control it to a certain degree as you get older. I'd like to share something that I find really interesting, especially with women. When women have, we all are born with psychic skill sets. We are all born with psychic abilities. Women's intuition is obviously a little bit stronger. And women's intuition is tied to our hormones and our menstrual cycle and to menopause. And as we grow older, our psychic skill sets grow stronger. Whether we believe in them or not, whether we use them or not, they grow stronger. I say this because there has been a handful of times that I've helped clients who do suffer from multiple personalities or mental disorders. And there is a direct correlation to some of them, especially those that have schizophrenia, that a bulk of that schizophrenia is actually their skill set of being able to see, hear, and feel. And so finding someone who can work with that, and we can differentiate what is the psychic skill set that needs to be managed versus what might be schizophrenia going on in the brain. As we keep saying she's getting stronger, like we keep saying, like, it feels like she's becoming more aware of it, more, she has control over it. Well, this aligns with your psychic skill sets. So as you get older, if you're practicing your psychic skill sets, you can control them and use them stronger and better. And if we're feeling like she's able to control this duality, then there has to be some psychic connection there, because it's growing with the psychic skill set. And even though we would there's a need to understand it and treat it separate, if we dug in, there's a connection there, because why are both things getting stronger and clear and more manageable in a sense as we grow older? But someone in the comments maybe who is more aware of like what you guys were talking about. But Denise, you're going to say something?
Well, and what I was going to say, if she's roughly in her 40s now, that is your prime age for perimenopause to start. And so your hormones are all shifting again. They're up and they're down and they're, so you might be a little bit more all over the place. But at the same time, that also brings her back into more of, that alignment of her skill set, right? And so, because as we move through, because this is some of the things I teach my clients, is that moving through these different phases, we by the time we get to the point where we're postmenopause, we still have energetic ties and fluctuations. We just don't have the physical manifestation of like, oh yeah, this is what's going on today. So she may be just really coming online with that kind of stuff, and learning more about herself to where she's like, oh, I can navigate.
Yeah. Or borderline personality. Yeah. This is really helpful. I don't, a similarity with the Amy case is, let's not seek her out. Let's let her live however she wants to live. Let her live.
She was wanting to come back, and in a good enough place to do that, she would have by now.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I don't feel like she's better. You know what I mean? She's managed. She's well, but she's not like everything's totally fine.
She's surviving. Harlow, anything else you want us to touch on?
That's pretty much answers it, really. I mean, all the little stuff, like you said, doesn't really matter.
Yeah. We have, hold on. Even now, psychiatrists' care and diagnosis is dismal at best. That's fair. Even in 2025, it's not safe for people to share with a therapist if you see or hear. That's true. You're right.
Yeah.
Very true.
I know.
No, I don't think she's contacted anybody. Personally, I don't feel that.
No, she just went, and I'm going to just start over.
Yeah. Our next case, happy Thanksgiving for those that celebrate. We'll be back in December. Who is December?
The December case is a young girl. She was 16. Her name was Lashea Stein. And she went missing in 2016. So we'll be doing that next.
All right. I love this comment. Great episode. Excited for the post show. That always helps me feel closer to your cases. That's awesome. Same with us.
Yeah.
We're going to, when we roll out our Patreon in January, we're going to have some options there for you guys to join us and help us with the post show and help, with the post show, it's sort of turned into a place where we build off of what we did tonight. We're able to definitely round out the edges and get a little bit more information. So we will see you guys. I believe the next show is the first week of December.
Yeah,
it was a December 6th?
2nd, maybe.
2nd?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a 2nd.
Thursday, December 4th. Very close.
Okay.
So you guys have a wonderful holiday. We will have our post show up next week. We'll be posting on YouTube like always. Continue to stay with us. Subscribe, all the fun stuff. Have a wonderful holiday. Have a safe holiday. I've got a lot of meditations on my personal page. Denise has a lot of options for healing and, any type of work you may need. Hint, hint, family holiday. That's why I'm saying that. No offense to my mom, who I love dearly and is my best friend. She watches, but we all know family's family, right? So take care of yourselves, nurture yourselves, take space, take time for yourself. And we will see you guys December 2nd. Thank you very much. Good work as always, Harlow.
Yeah,
Bye,
thank
you
you
guys.
Bye.